Hi everyone, I'm Peter Doman, Director and CEO of Vancouver SEO Company. Thank you very much for your time for joining us on our Q&A Monday. What we have here is a way of going through and trying to answer all your questions that we get both through phone and via email, and trying to go through and educate everybody about what it is that they can do to help their website move forward and be found by people who are searching for them. Today's question comes from Josh in Texas, and he asks, what is it that we can do to avoid penalties from Google given a penguin and panda and hummingbird, and also the upcoming mobile penalty on the 21st of April this year? Josh, look, great question. Thank you very much for that. And what we'll do is we're just going to jump straight into it. There's quite a lot of topic to cover on this one. What we want to do first and foremost is we want to make sure that the website's got great content, and the content itself needs to be taken into consideration so that it's fresh, original, so you've gone through and you've created it yourself, not scraped off other people's sites or plagiarized or anything like that. And most importantly, we want to make sure that the content is relevant, and the relevancy to what it is that your particular ideal client is looking for is very, very paramount to the success of the website. And the ability for you to incorporate your ideal client profile, which I've spoken about previously, and how it is that the words they use and mannerisms they may have. The idea is that you want to try and incorporate that into your body of text so that you two are actually speaking the same language, and so that they can actually relate to you through the website. So they feel like it is effectively that you're talking to them in person. So we want to go through after that and have a look at your site links, and what we want to make sure is that there's no bad backlinks primarily, no low quality ones. And what we want to try and do is just make sure that the website itself has good quality backlinks, so that the website itself is not seen as having spammy backlinks or anything that's going to be just utter garbage and used for the sole purpose of just backlinking to try and boost just to actually try and boost SERPs results. So we want to make sure that the quality of the link is there, and also, once again, look, relevancy. There's no point in a beauty spa or beauty salon going ahead and actually having the backlinks through to like a concrete company or someone who installs roofs, for example. There's just no relevancy there between the two. So make sure that your links are relevant, and make sure that they're actually useful to what it is you do. And what we then want to take a look at thirdly, make sure the customers can navigate the site easily. So you want to be able to give them a nice fluid motion of where it is that they can expect to see things. So as an example, we'll have all of our tabs about SEO in particular under one column, or under one tab on the screen. Now there will be a drop down menu, so if they want to have a look they can see some more. But the idea is that we wouldn't have, for example, SEO and then tying in with like on the underneath, like a SEO, for example, we wouldn't have videos underneath that. The two may be relevant, but what we want to try and do is just keep like the written content to stuff that's similar to similar, and make it relatively easy to navigate for the client, so when they click on something they actually find what it is that they're looking for straight away. And if we can do that, and that then increases the amount of time that the person spends on the page and increases the amount of pages they go through, Google sees that as a good thing. So making sure that the ability to spend quality time on the site looking through pages is ideally what you want. And if you've got a good quality site that has the ability to do that, then what you'll actually find is that an indicator being bounce rate will actually drop down as well. So that's what you really want to aim for, is just the use of that sort of information there. Another thing too is just making sure that you don't have pages that go through to basically pages that don't exist anymore. So any links that go through to pages that don't exist, you want to tidy up and you want to redirect. And the preferable method for that is a 301 redirect. Make it a permanent redirect. Moving forward, as I've said before, you never want to copy or scrape content from anyone's site. Always take the time to create your own content. You'll find that if you've got a very good understanding for the topic, and one of our existing clients has a similar sort of situation, once they started writing, what they actually found was the content itself came out quite easily. And it's the ability then to use that content to actually go through and generate what it is that we need to do, which is people putting eyeballs on it. And the ability for that to happen, when it's written by yourself, you actually have the ability for your personality to shine through. You have the ability for people to get your point across, and that relevancy, and that also that connection with people. If it's a generic based site, look, it'll give off some persona, but it won't give off a great deal, or it'll almost feel like it's very cookie cutterish. The idea of using the fresh original content that you've created is that you can then connect with that person, and we want to establish that connection. That's one of the big things that we find most certainly is by far one of the strongest points of dealing with smaller companies and smaller to medium-sized companies, is that the ability to connect with people. That's what you want to do, because at the end of the day, computers don't make sales. People will always buy from people they connect with, or they feel they have some sort of tie-in on some level. So please make sure you do always do that. Here's a little one which not a lot of people use. What we need to do is we need to make sure that the content is of adequate length. So some people will say, look, 300 words to a page is okay. You'll see that that is accepted as a general rule of thumb. I tend to go a little bit longer with the wording on some of the items that we use, primarily because it's very hard to get a point outlined and detailed in 300 words. So if you expand out through to 600 through 800, for example, it gives you the ability to expand on your point and then to actually go ahead and tie it all together. With a shorter version of Word, look, you can probably do it, not quite as effectively, but the idea is that you can still do it, and 300 words is a minimum starting point, so you can work your way through with that, and that's okay. We can work with that. Now, the big one, of course, obviously the topic of April 21 is on a lot of people's minds at this moment, and what we're seeing is that if your traffic is predominantly from mobile devices, so phones or iPads or whatever tablet you have, then you'll need to look at having a responsive site relatively soon. What we're going to see and how much we're going to see of a penalty, I'm not quite sure, but what we're expecting to see is there will be some sort of penalty issued for those who haven't gone ahead and got their site organised and orchestrated to be on a responsive format. So if you've got the mobile traffic predominantly coming from your mobile devices, then you'll need to be fully aware of this, that you do need to get some form of responsive website set up quite quickly in this situation, given we're about 8 days away from it. I don't know whether or not it's going to be quite as instant as what some people are expecting. I believe that it'll be rolled out probably in the US first, and then subsequently it'll be dealt out over Canada and then through Europe, and probably then through to the rest of the world from there. So it'll be a sequential event, I believe, but with Google, so it's just a case, look, everyone's expecting the 21st, and then what we'll do is we'll start hearing rumblings as things start happening. Predominantly though, if you get most of your traffic from a responsive, if you get most of your traffic from mobile devices, then you will need a responsive site. So what we've got from there is we want to basically move on to our last point. Now, our last point here is going to be something that's very, very simple. The best way to avoid penalties is to not start doing little tricks that you hear about here and there, and keep the website as clean and as functional as possible. Make sure that the website is updated regularly. Make sure that the website is given, as I said, fresh original content. Make sure that there's no errors on the site. Whoever does your Google Webmaster tools can help you with that. And look, just have a look at how it is you can go through and just keep the site moving consistently forward. Make sure that just information is given to the consumer so they can actually go ahead and use it and benefit from it, a lot like these videos. So, listen, thank you very much for your time that you have spent investing in watching this second video for the Q&A Monday series. I hope you are getting something out of it. What we will do is we will leave it there for now, and we'll catch up with you next week. Now, if you at all you want to go through and contact us, there's two methods you can use. You can go through and call the business personally on +1 778 938 8712, or what else you can do is actually go through and contact us through our email address. So that is frontdesk@vancouver Vancouver SEO-company.com. So as I said, look, please go ahead and ring us, or go ahead and contact us via email if you have any questions, or if you've got any other information as well, or if you want to just have a talk about where it is that your website is at. We would love to talk to you. But other than that, listen, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you next Monday for the next Q&A Monday session. Thanks very much. Bye for now.